No.
It's going.
It's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I have to tell you, when I was in the hospital
Yeah.
having Trudy,
Uh-huh.
I had Trudy, and but Rusty came and stayed with Trudy when
Uh-huh.
Rita was born, and Dad came to the hospital, and he saw the doctor, and they told him to wait in a certain room. He waited in that room. Anyway, when I gave birth to the Rita, he wasn't around. He was in the other room, and he didn't know, so the doctor called my home. So Rusty answered, and he says, "Muzzle tough to Rusty." So he says, "My brother's sitting there waiting. What are you telling me? Get to tell him, you know." But he he got the news before Dad got the news. So that was one of the funny things about Rita's birth. That and no, he bought a car from his boss, and it was an old DeSoto, but that's an old name, you know. He bought it for $1,200, and he would pay it off on his pay, you know. So this went on, but the car had a big hole in where you step on and everything. So one day when we were driving, I was sitting in the back with Rita the baby, and Trudy is sitting in the front, and that was before kids were tied up and everything. Door opened and she flew out, and he made the turn, and I screamed. I was sure he ran over her, because we were turning. We went on Waterloo, and he made a left, and she fell out.
Oh.
And I was in the back seat with the baby, holding the baby.
Oh.
And anyway, we called the doctor immediately, and anyway, she had concussion. She had fallen out of there. And he stayed and he sat with us. Well, maybe I'll have to take her to the hospital. We'll see. And he sat with us till 2 o'clock in the morning. And then he says, "No, she's going to be all right." But that's the fright we had.
Oh.
It was a horrible, horrible thing. But she had a snowsuit on, luckily, and a hood on it. So it cushioned it, and she was. So that was a horrible thing that we went through that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we had some different things. I lost my brother Max, Joe, Jenny, and my mother and Dad, and it was busy, and Dad and Dave. So these last few years have been heavy and very, very sad.
Yeah.
But I'm happy though that Dave and I had 57 years that we lived together.
Wow.
Yeah, could have been more. Should have been more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was 57 years. And he was a hard-working, very considerate, fine man, and a fine father, and he was great. He was lots of fun, especially when he played that ball. I always tell everybody, we went to a ball game for you, and we were on the other side of the fence, and you were up to bat, and the ball went over the top. Do you remember it?
Is this the time that he caught it with one hand, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went over the top of the fence, and we were sitting on the benches on the outside.
Yeah.
And he stood up and just grabbed the ball with one hand. And everybody applauded, because that was funny. But I always tell the story the way he put his hand up and grabbed the ball. He was tall and he got the ball.
Yeah.
But he never missed a game. We gotta go. He'd come home for supper and we gotta go. And we did. We followed up on everything. And then we'd have you kids over, the sleepovers. Do you remember sleeping over here?
Yes. Yes.
Not here, I'm Brighton.
And I think in that room too.
Yeah,
In that back room, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that room was reserved for Sylvia and Dave Walgang.
Yeah.
When they came, they would fight over who's going to have that bed, and there's a little bed pull-out on the other one.
Yeah.
So, and this one has a TV in it. So Dave would say to us, why does Sylvia get the one with the TV? I should get it. You remember him?
Yes.
He was fine, man.
Yes.
And Sylvia, I miss her. I used to call her every morning on Sunday. Every morning we talk for about an hour. Long distance. But it was cost a long distance. You get it for a special fee. It would cost maybe 78 cents or 80. Yeah, so we talked.
Yeah.
And there was nothing, but we enjoyed each other's company. She was a very fine lady, too. That was Dave's cousins. But they were... And that reminds me of, we went to New York for our honeymoon. So we went by train, and the plane at least. And then the plane landed in outskirts of New York because they couldn't get in yet. It was fogged in or something. And then they drove to New Jersey. So that's where we got off at New Jersey. Anyway, I thought, I gotta call my mother. The first time I flew. And she must be worried where I am. So I says to Dad, give me some money to call Canada, So he gives me a bill, and the bill was a $100 bill, and I thought it was a dollar bill because I had asked him for a dollar bill, and it was lucky that the fellow that I says, I got to get change for this dollar bill, because to put into the phone. Anyway, I went to a fellow in there and I asked him if he's got change for my dollar. And he says, lady, you got $100 there. And that was supposed to be for our whole honeymoon, our expenses for everything. So that's how our honeymoon started. So I got the $100 change. That was a terrible. Me, I was shaking. $100. I've never seen $100 in my life.
No.
And I don't know where when he went to the bank, they gave him $100. They should have given him small money, but and then we went to our room. He had made the arrangements to go to this place, and it was $8 a night there. So we went there, and the room had a elevator that was open, and it looked like some kind of fast-moving place. And I says, I'm not going to stay here, I don't want to go. And so Dave says, but what are we going to do? I paid for it. He paid for 8 nights there. He had paid in Toronto to reserve it. So I says, well, we'll get our money back, but come on, I'll find. Anyway, I says, I know the Commodore Hotel because Reliable Toy used to send all our people there. So I says, I can get a room there. Well, anyway, apparently it was a big ball game that weekend, and they were booked. So I says, well, you call Mr. Katz. I says, tell him that Miss Singer is here on their honeymoon and she wants a room. And sure enough, they rushed us in. We got a beautiful room, and we stayed there at the Commodore Hotel on 42nd Street.
Did you get your money back to the other hotel?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was our experience. And make matters worse, he bought tickets for 3 shows, plays. Hell Freezes Over, and Kiss Me Kate, and another one. And anyway, he left the tickets
at home?
in the room.
At home?
No, in the hotel room.
At the wrong... Oh.
At Kiss Me, the Commodore. When we came back, there was no tickets. Somebody took the tickets.
Oh.
So here he had spent money on the tickets, you know, it was... So he said, what are we going to do? So he says, well, he had written down, like, on Monday we go to this movie, this play, and this one. So we went, and everyone we said, we have a reservation here. We bought the tickets, they sold our tickets, so they made us sit in the back until the show started, and if there was empty seats, we got, and we saw the 3 movies, 3 plays. So that was another thing, that was our honeymoon. So it was a pretty rough time. So we stayed, and then he said he had 3 uncles and families there, and two aunts and families, all living in New York. So he wanted me to meet them all because, so I was whacked out every day. We had to go to the Bronx, to this, to that, and it was summer. It was June the 18th. Then there was summer months, you know, and it was so hot, and I would go and anyway, and I had relatives too there in New York.
Huh.
So my mother's brother and my mother's sister with their families. So they all lived in New York, all our relatives. But we managed to squeeze them all in, and we collected wedding gift cards. Everybody gave. Some gave $5, $10, you know. That was a big amount to give for a wedding.
Yeah.
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 Now, if you give $100, you're poor. It's different.
Yeah.
Okay, what other stories can I tell you? Uncle Zadie, he worked hard. His boss died, and he had made him a partner. And he was a partner with his boss in the place. But anyway, the boss's wife didn't like having in printing. You have to be up to date on machines. And Dad had to buy a machine there for $9,000 from the business, and he had to buy it, and she wasn't happy that he had to buy. He had to because that was the business part. So anyway, finally she said she wants to sell. So we had to sell, and Dad was out of work. And it was terrible. Where is he going to get a job? So he went on unemployment, and then you went unemployment, they gave you $1.50 a week. And lucky we had saved up some money, so we lived on it. And then he got a job, and he bought before he bought a machine from there, and he says, "I'll put it in my basement, and I'll work from that." He took the whole machine apart. You wouldn't believe it. A whole big, machine, and had it moved into our basement. And he put it back together again. And then he had to start looking for customers. So anyway, it was very hard to get customers. He really tried so hard. And so for 2 years, it was hopeless. And we had eaten up our reserve fund. And anyway, he says, "I gotta go looking for a job." So anyway, he got a job at one place, and it was like for like Christmas time, like just a part-time. And then he got a job in Richmond Hill, where they made the Reader's Digest book. So he was doing good there, but that's when he finally gave up working. But he worked so hard on that, and he had to pay $9,000 for the machine.
Wow.
So to pay it back, and it was we had it hard. So we had it hard for a few years, and Dad, we saved up. I was very frugal. I saved up. You see how I saved. I saved as soon as he went to work. I made it my business. Put away something, put away. And but anyway, I still had a wonderful life with them. Touch wood. Okay, close the door.